Hi folks, welcome to another Fenland angling adventure. It's Wednesday the 15th of July, back on my river, on my kayak. I'm going to start off on the bottom for a tench or some bream maybe, and then later on head off somewhere and look for some big rudd high up in the water. It's a lovely sunny day. Let's get going. Right, I'm all tied up. It's 8 o'clock now. It took me ages to get ready. I've been up since 4. I had the float rod set up for a stick float, like trotting method. But this, where I am, is about probably 11 foot deep, and the rod's only 7 foot long. So I've had to change my setup to a sliding float setup. Just had a bite already. So come on, fish. It's getting hot now. Had a little bite already. The fish just rolled in. Come on, tench. It's caught my first fish. A bream, about a pound. Got to disgorge her out. Not a monster, but a good start. We'll have that. Missed quite a lot of bites before that. Number 2. Nice little rod. But there's tench everywhere down there. You can see them bubbling up, they're rolling, but they're not taking my bait. They're pushing my bait around the bottom, because the float's sort of moving across the surface, but they just won't have it. It's so crafty. And you've got to get through the rod to get to the tench as well, so it's tricky stuff, but I'm running out of time. And that's probably the best rod of the day so far. Lovely, bet half a pound. And he took my worm. Which was supposed to be for a tench. Still struggling. What's the time? About 6:30 probably. Give it half an hour and then I'll go. Come on, here we go. Come on. Another rod, I think. Oh, skimmer. Oh dear. Back you go. Bit sweet corn that time. Got fed up with catching too many rudd on maggots and worms. So I tried all sweet corn, now I'm getting skimmers. But they're okay, I like them. Might get some big old bream. They're still bubbling down there, so they might be bream and not tench. Might get a couple of big old slabs yet. The old rod keep coming. Can't get through them at all now. Trying to get to the tench on the bottom, but I can't. Keep taking the maggots straight away. Try sweet corn again, but I think that will do the same. The rod will get that as well. Whack, 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 whack. You can laugh. Right folks, it's finally happened. Got what I came for. Oh, lovely little female tench. Oh, I'm soaked now. Oh, look at that. Get the line out of the way. If I can. What a mess. It went under the boat, went in the lilies. Nice female tench, probably about £5. Bit of a tail missing. What a beauty. Actually came up under the lilies and gave up because it couldn't see anymore. But that was a real scrap to start with. I thought I'd lost it for sure. But I never gave up. See if I can get another one. I doubt if I'll get another one with that disturbance. Let's put you back. What a beauty. The rest. Oh, oh. Put you back, and off you go. Oh, it's still in there, and off you go. Ah. Ah. What a mess. That's fishermen getting, but it was worth it. That was back on the float. I tried all different methods and ended up going back on the float in the end. And got it on half a lobworm. This is all knotted up. Try and sort myself out. See if I can get another one. Oh, just caught a little rudd. Come on, stop jumping about. He's got some strength in him. Keep still. You're going straight back. Nice little rudd. Watch out for that pike. I caught one a minute ago, or a few minutes ago, and I'm sure something chased it in. An old predator. They love the old rudd, they do. It's tough out there on the streets. Caught a nice big eel. How am I going to get that unhooked in my boat? I do not know. Right folks, that's it for today. I didn't get that second tench, but it was a good day today. I enjoyed it. It's a short video, but a long session, a long time to be in the boat. I should think by the time I get out, my legs will forget how to walk. I'll be so stiff. I had some nice fish, some nice rudd, a few small bream and a lovely tench. So not a bad day really, quite successful I have to say. Like I said, I didn't get the second one. I was hoping to get it. They were definitely there. I had them interested but just couldn't get them to take the bait. Maybe next time. Thanks for watching folks anyway, and I'll see you on the next trip. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, and if you like this video please hit the like button, and if you have any questions please don't hesitate to ask. Don't ask me how to row though. Hi folks, it's been brought to my attention recently by a couple of friends that although they can't get enough of watching my fishing videos, they've told me that I don't really put enough detail on rigs and tactics and how I'm catching the fish, which is a fair point. For those of you that are used to fishing, I can't teach you anything. You're probably a lot better than I am. But I'm hoping there's some people out there that are beginners and would like to learn a few things about fishing. So if I can inspire just one youngster to put down his Xbox and get up and do some fishing, then I've achieved what I want to achieve. So I'm going to have a new section in some of my videos. It won't be on every video, but it will be on some videos showing my tactics and rigs. And I'm going to call it Rod Tips. Okay, I thought it was good. So today's rod tip is how to fish from a kayak with a 7-foot rod in about 12 or 14 feet of water. You can't obviously set the float at 14 foot with a 7-foot rod. You just won't be able to cast. So we use a slider float setup. This is my little rod, 7-foot lure rod, but I'm using it for float fishing. Match reel loaded with 6-pound line right through to a hook of your choice. I've got I think, let me get my glasses on. This is probably size 12, but I can go bigger or smaller, depends what fish you're after and what sort of bait you're using. So from the hook, we'll work our way back up. Oh dear, that old reel. So about 20 inches from the hook, I've got my bulk shot. I usually put lots of small shot together, or maybe 3 big shot, enough to cock the float. Put them all together because I want to get as quickly as I can down to the bottom through the small fish to the bottom feeders. I mean, if you want to fish for smaller stuff within the layers of the water, you can space these out shirt button style. But I put all mine together to try and get through the rod and all the small fish down to the bottom. So that's about 20 inches from the hook. And then I'll have a drop a shot sort of in the middle, 10 to 8 inches from the hook, just to sink that last little bit. So I want to get the bait just touching bottom. So then working up from the bulk shot, I also put another small shot just to keep the float from sliding right down to here, because when it's down there and I cast, it can sometimes get the hook wrapped around the float, so that's messed your setup entirely. You'll sit there watching the float, it'll settle down like that and you think you're fishing, but your hook's somewhere around here and your bait's not on the bottom. So I like to keep the float. This hook during cast won't obviously go any further than that because the bulk shot are holding it. So it's just to keep the float away from the hook really on the cast. So as long as the float is further than that distance away from the bulk shot, it shouldn't really tangle up. I hope that's clear. It's a bit confusing, but I like to keep the float away from the bulk shot on the cast. So up from the float, I've got just a little rubber bead. The float goes through a swivel on, not a float attachment, so that can come off. And you can change that and put a bigger or smaller float on. I mean, that's quite a big chunky float anyway. I like a chunky float because I like it so I can see it in sort of choppy weather. My eyesight isn't great, I'm getting older, so it's quite a chunky float. Also I want one that's heavy that will take a lot of weight, so I can get this down as quick as I can to the bottom. So above the float there's a little rubber bead, so when I cast out the weights obviously sink. The float will slide up with the rubber bead and hit the stop knot, which you've already put on. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. You put your sliding stop knot on, and the rubber bead will just stop the swivel from going over the stop knot, because that can happen, especially when you put your plummet weight on and you give it quite a forceful flick out. Your float can be forced over the stop knot. I don't know if many people use a sliding stop knot now, whether they use like float stops or what. But I'm a bit old school and I still use a sliding stop knot. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I think that's it for now then. Nothing else on this rig. So there you go, that'll be like that. you cast it and your float will slide up all the way to your set depth, whether you're fishing at 10 feet or in a big lake that's 20 or 25 feet deep. It's possible you could be fishing really deep. It's a great method. So now I shall show you how to tie, or how I tie a sliding stop knot. It's not probably everyone's perfect stop knot. People have different ideas of a stop knot. I used to just tie like 4 overhand knots or 3 overhand knots when I was younger, but sometimes that knot is a bit bulky, and when it's on the spool and you try and cast, the line that you want to come off in front of the knot just gets caught behind it and you don't cast anywhere. You look a fool when you flick it out and it only goes right in front of your face. So I'm going to show you how I tie a stop knot anyway. Right then folks, here's how I tie my sliding stop knot. Probably not what everyone uses, but it's how I tie mine, and it does me fine. I'm using a thick bit of pink pole elastic for visual purposes. Normally I'd use probably a bit of pole elastic, quite a bit thinner than this. I've even used mono before, so if this is £6 mono, I'd use £10 mono for me sliding stop knot. But I think pole elastic's the best thing really. You want to do it at home, not on the when you get on the boat. So get it all set up ready before you go. Put it on a bench like I have here, or do it on the lawn on your garden. So I've cut a nice long bit here to work with. I want to hold this end against my main line. So it's with my left hand, finger and thumb like so. And I want to wrap this line around my thumb and the other tag end and the main line 3 times. And just grip it there. So that's once. That's twice. 3 times. Then I want to go back through those 3 loops. So I might have to just try and pull them off my thumb a bit there. There you go. Go back through. Like I say earlier, people that have been fishing a while know how to do this, or probably have their own version, so they don't need to pay any attention to me. This is purely for beginners out there. I want to pull out a little bit. It's kind of gone a bit out of shape there. I'm going to wet it and see what happens. Keep the main line tight. And there you go. There's the 3 loops that have not come nicely together now and form that nice cylindrical knot. You don't want to over tighten it. If it's very loose, then you can tighten it a bit more, but if you over tighten it, it kind of pulls the knot out of shape, and instead of going across that way, it will twist and stick out at the sides. So don't over tighten it. And then you want to cut your tags off, so just have a close up of that. Hopefully that looks okay. Cut your tags off to about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. Cut them off like that to start with. Cast it in the garden or just flick it out to make sure it goes through the eyes of the rod, and then reel it onto the line spool as well, and then cast again, because you want to make sure that the line doesn't get caught behind the knot on the cast. If it does get caught in any way, you can trim these a little bit, but start off with them a bit long, because you can always cut them but you can't add them on. So this knot now can be slid up or down the line to determine your depth, and your bead and your float will hit that and stop. Won't go any further, hopefully. and you're now fishing. So I hope that has helped you folks, especially you beginners out there, so you can now fish the sliding stop knot method in deep water. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Rod Tips, and I shall see you on my next fishing trip. Try.